My name is Engineer Lucy Wanjiku Mutinda. I'm born in Kenya, down on the eastern side of the country, a county known as Machakos County. My parents, they were learned, so my mother was a primary school head teacher, while my father was a doctor working in the city. One interesting thing about my mother that she instilled in us that might have influenced the track that I finally took after studying engineering was that my mother, despite us growing in a very semi-arid area with water shortages, we always had green trees and our home is covered with a lot of trees. And I remember anytime we washed clothes or washed our utensils in the outdoor, but that water, she would insist that we don't just throw it, but we would use it to keep our trees growing. So my first job after university, I was more in automotive engineering. While I was working as an automotive engineer, I came across the scholarship advert for a program called Africa Compt by GIZ in 2008. And I applied for that scholarship. And so I went for the interviews and I got the full scholarship. So while in Germany, I remember one time I was chatting with a friend and they told me about a trade fair that happens in Munich that exhibits wastewater technologies, because I told him I'm an engineer, I'm here at Continental doing automotive, but I have an interest in engineering for the environment. And one time I made my way to just go to the IFAT, and when I got there, I was just impressed by the amount of technologies that I saw. And then I told them, I'm not yet a business person, but when I return back home, I would want to set up such a business. I do not have the capital now, but I'm just making myself aware and understanding what exists. And when I go back home, one day, I will get in touch with you. So I finished my scholarship in Continental AG. I came back to Kenya in 2009. I came back not to come back to automotive, but now my mind had shifted. I want engineering for the environment. So I established my company in 2014. My exposure in Germany was so good, such that by the time I was leaving, I had already set my mind that I must do a master's in Germany. So it would be difficult to leave because most German masters are 2 years. So for a while, I have been trying to ask which German university offers an online course, because my master's has to be in Germany, but I want to do it online while still doing my things back at home. So one day I'm just sitting on my email inbox and I see an email from one of the German business contacts. Allianz was willing to sponsor a lady young engineer doing business and impacting the environment. And so I put in my application and Allianz said, yes, we will sponsor her. And so here I am at ESMT. And so the one greatest thing that when we got into our first class is the nature of the diverse classmates and the different areas that they come from. So for me, a network is so rich and valuable, even more than money, because when I mentor people that are younger than me and we talk about starting a business, nowadays I tell them a network is more important than even having the cash. Been studying a lot about ethics. My future is very much interlinked with my company, because this environmental preservation from sewer pollution that I do is not just as a concept, it's something that I'm really passionate about. I want to have something that can outlive me, like an institution that is sort of an NGO that advocates for training people in STEM with an inclination to really preserving the environment. And Ecocycle blends with that, because it would be the company that shows them practically how to do it, but then the NGO is the advocacy for how STEM and environment really blend together. And Ecocycle will be an idea. And of course, we would like this company to live to our daughters and even get more investors, and it grows bigger and becomes a big multinational. And there's integrity again, because we've been studying a lot about ethics and responsibility with Professor Ors. Personally, I run my business on integrity, but he has brought in the actual tangible concepts where you can pick chances of having unethical business practices. He makes you see it so that you can avoid it. And I feel I'm also ready to bring that to my fraternity and be an advocate for ethics and integrity within engineering amongst ourselves as members and amongst the stakeholders. So I want to bring now this tangible knowledge of handling ethics as I advocate for integrity and ethics in engineering.